I love the stream open. Hello everyone. We are. Are we back? I think we are. Stream is live. We've missed the overtake on for the lead, but there's nothing we can do about it, I suppose. But we do have Triton and Contender close on track. Vinny, Dahama, Vinny, and Thimo close on track. Vinny looking to the inside in turn one. Is he going to get the move done? He does indeed up the inside. There. Very nice, very clean move. So I think we're just going to focus on Contender and Triton. That battle for second looks very nice.
So is that what you're focusing on, Billy? Contender and Triton? Because then I'll keep the focus on that for you.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep the focus on that. Maybe Vinny once he catches, if he catches Gary. And speaking of Gary, he is on the back of Adam. So if nothing happens between Contender and Triton on the main straight coming into turn 3 as Triton loses the rear, I'll be switching over to Gary and Adam. So Contender gets a good exit as well. He picks up the 3-second time penalty. Contender can't make anything of it, unless Triton makes a mistake. I don't think he'll be able to do anything, as Gary is on the right on the back. I'm just gonna. As Gary runs a bit wide, loses the rear a bit. I don't think he'll get the move done. Yes, he's gonna have a look. It's very close going into turn 1, almost hitting the rear, as Gary is low on fuel. As he's closing. He's not gonna go for it though, which is probably the best decision from his point of view.
Tipsy.
Yes?
Can you do the comms? Because I can't get into the game again.
That's okay, yeah. I'm just letting Billy take away here.
Yeah, I think you and him will be a good mix. So
Well, I had planned on not doing this anymore, but okay.
we'll jump me back in.
It's all yours, Billy. Take away, man.
If it stays like this, Contender.
So, Billy, what's the time penalties going with Huene and Triton and Contender?
So, Huini, Triton, and Contender. Huini has 2, Triton has 2, Contender has 1. So Contender would win the race as it stands, as Gary's going up the inside. At the I can't remember what the corner name is, but he's got the move done. Adam's not giving it up. He's on the inside, not anymore. He loses the rear, and Gary is up to P4 after that spin at the corner. He's coming through right now with an ultimate.
Yeah, but Contender's got DRS on Triton, Billy. So we'll need to keep an eye on this little battle for these front 3.
Oh yeah, Huini's tyres must have dropped off a bit because Triton's back into a second. So that's good for Triton, as Vinny's now closing in the back, but he has no airs on those soft compound tyres. So it doesn't look like he can really do anything with them. Contender on the back.
Also, when people who are watching, forgive the little Steam notifications. Normally I have them off for these streams, but just forgive them.
As Thimo's on the back of the hammer now. So there is 3 battles on track we need to be looking out for, aren't there? Adam and as Adam makes a mistake, that allows Vinny to close up. George picks up a 3-second time penalty. And Tipsy, they want you to turn the volume down, please.
Off the game? Because it's I have it set the way I've always had it set.
Maybe your voice then?
Ooh.
Whereas
I'll just whisper it, Billy. I'll just whisper.
no, your voice, yeah, they need to turn your voice then. That's what they're saying. They're saying you're a bit loud. I just want you to turn your mic volume down a bit. As Triton's closed the gap to Iwini. Obviously, those medium tyres were not going to last forever. It wasn't going to be a full-pace wonderland on those tyres. So if Contender just keeps it clean, stays in that position, the race is his. It's just that. That's all he needs to do. Can he do it? Let's find out in the next couple of laps. As Triton, with that DRS, is going to be even harder for Contenders. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3 somewhere. It looks to be Wimpy.
Yeah, Wimpy, yeah.
He's lost his wing coming out the fast left right. Contender. And the front three managed to get through it quite fast. Vinny can't do anything with Adam as he can't, as the DRS is in play for Adam. Maybe not anymore. Oh yes it is. Just took a while as Triton on the back of Hawini. People are telling you to turn it down a tiny bit more. Tipsy, if that is okay with you. As Triton, DRS open. Vinny, 2 temps behind. DRS open. Nothing making of it up front. Vinny closing. He can't make anything of it. I think he'll have a go on the favourite turn 3 as Van Beets picks up a 3-second time penalty. The DRS is open. Thimo's on the back of Durhammer, so we're going to keep an eye on both of these battles as Vinny launches it up the inside for P5, but pushes Adam out wide. But then Thimo gets ahead of Durhammer. Very clean move. But the Vinny diving it up the inside. It was a bit of audacious, a bit of argy-bargy, but I do think that was a clean move.
Yeah, Vinny showed in previous seasons and races that he's not afraid to send it, so that's to be expected.
Yeah. As Triton is gaining on Huini now. That was a very fast gain as Huini only has 11% ERS to use, but Triton has 65% to utilise. Contender, who is the car in third, just sitting back, getting the popcorn out, watching this unfold. He doesn't need to get involved in any of this. And start with 45% ERS. Triton will be able to gain as Vinny's on the back of Gary, so I'll be watching that in a minute. See if Triton can do anything with Weenie. Oh, he's gaining. He's gaining very quickly. He's on the outside. Weenie might try and force him out. It's a bit of payback from earlier in the race, so I think that was okay, as that done earlier. Vinny with Gary now. A bit too far back for any sort of move.
Yeah, Triton should really just sit tight until this final main straight, where he'll get the benefit of DRS.
Yes, but Triton won't know this, although he might, because maybe he has a bit of a race engineer on the side.
Jensen says that Hina is basically driving on the rims. Yeah, it's amazing how he hasn't got a puncture just yet.
So it's very close as Thimo, as Vinny spun on those soft compound tyres. All his work for doing that stint has just been undone with that one mistake. He's fell down to P8. That releases the pressure from Gary.
Oh, Triton clips the wall!
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. It's all unfolding. That's the last lap of the Grand Prix. Triton really needs to get this move done to turn 3 and get this. He get effective P2 because Contender on penalties will win this race if he just keeps it clean. Doesn't get a good exit to Triton into turn 3, so these last chance.
Oh, Contender rear ends Triton. I got it on the stream.
And that could be the break that Uwini needs. If the gap's more than 3 seconds, Uwini wins. Contender needs to really pick this up, step it up. As Vinny falls behind Keyboard Magnussen in the Haas car. The Racing Point pulling out ahead. Vinny picks up a 3-second time penalty, which is not good for his race. I think he has damage. He does. 1.2 seconds. Uwini's tyres must be absolutely gone at this point. And Contender is catching him with no stress, in absolute ease. He's already down to a second from 1.6 coming out the first sector. It looks like this is Contender's race. Triton a further 2 seconds behind. Unfortunately, just got that rear end from Contender. Did he brake early? Did he brake late? That might be one for the stewards. Huini comes across the DRS line up to the finish line, but he knows he hasn't won this race because Contender comes across the line, takes the first win of the season for the Toro Rosso team, and Triton after the last lap will be in P3. Gary comes across the line after a brilliant recovery drive after he spun. On that.
Oh, Adam jumps up to P4 because he got no
jumps up
penalties.
P4. That is a brilliant race by Adam in that Williams car. Got ahead of Gary. Thimo in P6, a good diff from the McLaren boys. The Hammer in P7, Keyboard in P8. Vinny just all fell apart in the last couple laps in P9. Van coming to the penultimate corner now. In hot lap. Into 4, round the final corner. Crosses the DRS line and comes across the line for P10. Verk follows behind in P11 in that Red Bull car. In P.
Larson coming around with no front wing.
No front wing at all. He was weaving across the line to smashes his car while he's at it. And Wimpy looks to have left the session, so that's it. That's the Australian Grand Prix for the season opener of Tier 2, Round 4. I'm gonna struggle to get my words out.
I'm back as well, guys. I just caught the end of that stream. What a finish to a race! That was crazy. That's what you want from a season opener.
I think I don't know how my volume is, so hopefully I'm not deafening people. But I think that switch to full damage potentially maybe helped the racing because people are a bit more careful.
Yeah, that's the idea behind it. I mean, obviously, it brings in other issues as well, like DRS can break during a race and take a few laps to fix, and then obviously, if you tap someone now, it's going to pick up a lot of damage. So you might, there might be some drivers that fall foul of that, but I think overall it should promote cleaner racing, and I mean, I just can't get over that finish to that race. What an enthralling race, and thanks Tipsy for jumping in there last minute.
Right, man.
Unfortunately, Codemasters struck again with their infamous. I don't know what the hell happened that time. I've never had that issue before where I haven't been able to get into a session, but wow, what a great race from the guys there. And if that's something to go by, the rest of the season is going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to commentate on it all. So after that, enthralling race, absolutely amazing one. Who would you say is your driver of the day?
That is a good question. I think it has to go to Huini. I mean, we normally don't go for the guy who finishes, top. He didn't finish in P1 today. He did on track, but I think Huini just. Actually, I don't know. It's a mix up between Huini and Contender. I mean, Contender first race on the wheel, and he just did everything right, and he had the one less time penalty than Huini, and that just that helped him win the race. And so I think it was maybe a toss up between Contender and Huini. Probably thinking about it, I'll go for Contender for this one.
For me, I'd go with Gary. That amazing recovery drive from spinning at the penultimate corner to all the way back up to P5, I think he would be mine.
Yeah. Tipsy, any shout outs for driver of the day?
Well, you both kind of mentioned the two guys I was thinking. If it wasn't for that tap that Contender did on Triton, which I may be wrong, but initially it looked like kind of an example of what I actually warned people about before the stream. Whenever you've got ABS guys with non-ABS guys, the ABS guys often rear end the no ABS guys. That kind of looked what happened. I may be wrong, but that's what looked like what happened. But if not for that, I probably would have given it to Contender. But yeah, the one that I was looking at, and I'm quite pleased that Gary or Bailey mentioned it, was Gary. I was thinking Gary as well. from going off at the start to, as he says, recover to P5. That's a phenomenal result. So for me, for what it's worth, I would probably lean more towards giving it to Gary as well.
Yeah, I could certainly back that. I mean, as I say, we don't usually go for the guy that finished P1. It's just the fact that Contender first race in the wheel, and I know he was saying he was kind of maybe sandbagging when he was talking to me, but he said like he doesn't even think he's going to get points for this one. He's quite nervous about it. But I would agree with Gary. We'll go with Gary for driver of the day. Yeah, he did. He just got his head down and made his way through the field. Great comeback from him. And I think we've got time now
Yeah.
for a few driver interviews, and we'll bring
Who
in the
should we?
I think the race winner.
Yes,
Yeah,
Contender.
has to be, doesn't it?
That's unfortunate.
Oh, Contender,
Hey
sorry.
guys! Yes,
Hey,
boys!
hey.
Yes!
Did
We
you
almost
get
almost got
something?
him. Almost got him.
Grazie ragazzi.
Grazie ragazzi, P1! How you doing, guys?
I'm doing very good. How about you?
Yes! Yes, with the win, yes!
I'm so happy for you, Contender, man. I know that we were just saying on the stream, first race on the wheel, you're quite nervous going into this one, and I think you were kind of like you didn't. I don't think you were thinking you could win this one, like really.
Yeah, no, not in a mile, no, I didn't think I would win.
Yes.
Especially when you have guys like Triton, Wenny, Adam, those guys.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
tough
man.
field out there. So you've done amazing. I mean, you just did all the right things. Obviously, you got one time penalty, but the other guys got more time penalties, and Hoini obviously had you had a 3 second kind of gap that you could have, behind him for that finish, and it just went right down to the wire, which
Yeah.
from our point of view was amazing to watch, and I'm sure you'll enjoy watching that one back.
Well,
We did have a few technical issues with the stream, I'll just say that, but.
Yeah, no worries, man.
As
testing one,
always,
two,
but yeah,
testing.
I mean, just talk us through your race. What was your thinking going into the race, and like how to play out for you?
Yes, my race plan was just like planned. I think I was going from the start, no penalties or the less penalties I could have, and just be smooth, like not get involved in an accident. Like let them pass, do the race. I will be there if something happens. I will take advantage of it. I took advantage of it with the penalties. Last 10 laps, I think, in the S section, I was like a snail because I didn't want to get a penalty. I had two warnings. Yeah, I had two warnings, and the last 10 laps, I was driving really slow there because I didn't want to get a penalty. But my race plan was great. In the straight, I was like screaming like Gasly in Brazil. You could see my wheel. I was like, yes, boy, yes, finally. So yeah, I'm very happy. Very happy with that
I
race.
just have one question about the incident on the last lap of Triton. Did you think he broke early or did you break a bit later?
Yeah, I thought I broke a little bit later. I thought I tapped him, and that's why I slowed down to let him pass because I thought it was my fault. But he let me through. Triton is a really, really fast guy. It was really tough to pass him even if I wanted to. So yeah, really happy with that race, man. Oh god.
Contender, did you know? Did you see, or did you know that on the final lap that Triton actually had a damaged front wing?
Yeah, I didn't know that. No, he did.
Yeah, the final coming out of the final corner for the last lap, he clipped the wall, so it was probably
Oh
why he maybe braked a little bit earlier for that corner.
no, yeah. I thought I broke a little bit later. That's why I tried to slow down, but he let me through. That's really really cool from him. I will thank him from that. And yeah, race went just like I wanted to. Amazing. I didn't believe I could win. Not in wow. So wow, man.
Well,
First race with a wheel, got a win. Yes.
Yes, congratulations,
congratulations.
mate. That was
Thanks, guys.
a well-deserved one. That one, yeah, you really fought hard for that, and it paid off. And thanks for joining us on the chat as well. We'll move you back
Thank
into
you,
the
guys.
gentleman's lounge. So again, congratulations to Contender. We're gonna
Let's
bring in. Sorry, Bill. I just gotta say we're
introduce
gonna bring
Van.
in Van Beats, who finished P10.
Hey.
Yeah, it's the man of the moment. P10. That's the one where that's where everybody wants to finish. Um, well, unless if your name's Ocean Chief, that's where you're gonna finish. So you're the Ocean Chief of tier 2. It looks like.
God, I mean this is my first official point, technically, like from being a full-time driver. So I mean, I'm really happy. Like, the start of the race, I had a good start, and then that virtual safety car, I don't know what caused it yet. I have to like look back and see, but that kind of screwed things up a little bit. I thought I could like push up a little bit until that happened, so I was stuck behind the like 12th for a little bit, and eventually I just kind of pulled out, and I was alone for quite a bit. This was around like 20 laps. So I was just alone technically, really. But
Okay.
I had a moment of like
Right.
I don't know how to say it, but I spun. Okay, so keyboard Magnuson, he just pits. I pass him, and he's behind me for like at least 2 laps. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm just gonna let him pass because he's much faster. I don't have to really fight him for ninth because it's not really that big of a deal. And I spin coming into turn 4, and the amount of tilt I had, it was hilarious. I was really like angry at myself, but luckily I just kind of I calmed down afterwards. I'm like, okay, just focus on whoever's behind me and try to make sure I don't mess up anymore. And thankfully, I did get time penalties, but I was luckily 6 seconds ahead of whoever was behind me. So I'm really happy. First point. I'm gonna
Yeah,
hopefully get more during the
it's
season.
it's so easy when you do that. You spin or whatever, and you get you're so mad at yourself, and then that can lead to then just making more mistakes down the line. So you did well to recover from that and just get the head down and get that point. And I mean, P10's nothing to be scoffed at either. Like we may be like, oh, P10, last of the point, pen position. But when the field is competitive. P10, it's not easy anymore to get that P10 position.
Yeah,
As I'm going to find out in Tier 1 and on Saturday. But yeah, you did a great job and commend thee for the P10 finish and your first points on the table, man.
yeah, thank you, man. Honestly, this league it has made me a much better driver for sure since I first came in here.
Yeah, it was like I was saying to you a while back. You were saying you've improved a lot, and I was saying, but you have to take into account the fact that everybody else is improving at the same time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like you've raised the bar and you think you're much better and you're going to do much better, but everyone else raises the bar as well. So it's all about embracing the grind. And yeah, I know you're very active in the practice sessions and stuff, and it's obviously paying off for you. So hopefully we'll see more points on the board in future races. We'll see you next week for Bahrain. So thanks for joining us on chat,
yep.
and we'll move you back
Thank you.
into the gentleman's lounge.
All right.
Let's see. Well done, man. Who are we pulling in today? Are we gonna have how many more interviews? We've got 3 more drivers lined up.
Yeah, so I think Adam did very well. He's
Yeah, P4.
no penalties, Adam. You got a P4 in the end. Jumped a lot of drivers at the finish line there due to the no penalty situation. So, just give us a kind of rundown on your race.
It was. I mean, I got achieved what I wanted to achieve. At the start, that virtual safety car didn't help because I got stuck behind keyboard Magnuson. But in the end, no, if he was doing the 2-stop, there was no point overtaking him. And then in the end, pretty much just kept my head down, kept on going. Um, then got to the last few laps. I'm not sure if it was caught on stream, but there was like a moment where I lost about 2 seconds because of a lag spike. So that put Gary on my ass. And then at the end, when Gary and Vinny started battling it out, I knew about the penalty, so there was no point actually trying to get involved in the fight and just keep in range of them. So to try and jump them at the end, but I'm happy with that P4 on the first race back.
Yeah, good job, man. You kind of came out of nowhere at the end. You jumped up so many positions. We're like, holy crap, P4. Nice
I was
job.
just like, thanks. I was just like, I'm like, unfortunate for Vinny because his strategy was really good. The fact that he managed to come all that way back. I just knew when he'd gone, I had to keep within 3 seconds of Gary, and then once Gary crossed the line, I was just praying that was within that 3 second window. But I was just amazed that I didn't actually pick up any penalty, which was pretty. I don't know how to describe it. It's like not picking up a penalty in Russia.
Excellent stuff.
But
Excellent stuff, man. It was a great race from start to finish, though. A lot of battling throughout the field, and yeah, I mean, P4, P4. It was P4 when it wasn't P5.
Before.
P4, I mean,
P4,
you know
yeah.
that feeling of you know P4 well, too well. But no.
It was a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Yeah, I'll hold on to it though. A P4 at Spa and DMR, yes, it did happen one time. I'm sure it's actually there's footage of it as well, isn't there?
Yes, there is footage of it, but
It's like that footage
we
of
must.
Bigfoot sightings. It's like, did it really happen? It's like this really grainy footage.
No, there's like stuff in the Holy Grail and a P4 for Ocean Chief. What is this madness?
That's gonna be on my gravestone. P4 DMR.
What is it? P10 for life, and P one time P4
Yeah, I was actually
for all.
watching my first race, my first SLR race, season one, race one, Australia, P10.
Oh my god. I mean,
Seven
I watched
SLRs.
I watched my Australia race back from last season. Didn't even make it past lap one. So that was also the other point. Just actually making it past lap one this time was pretty much what I wanted to do. Because after that end of run of format, pretty much the last half of last season, where I didn't even like finish any time. Like once I got to Abu Dhabi, I was like P5. This is good enough. So it's like building up, hopefully, to another podium. So hopefully I can get there for China,
Yeah,
not
that's,
Bahrain.
you're gonna miss Bahrain then, yeah.
I hate Bahrain. I will be there, maybe.
Yeah, well, you know what to do. Get grinding. So I'll move you back in the gentleman's lounge. Thanks for joining us on stream there,
No problem.
and we'll
Thank
speak
you.
soon. Okay, we'll speak soon.
Well,
Do we have time for two more interviews? I think we have.
Yeah, I think we'll take in Joel and Invalid. Hello, Joel and Invalid. You're live on the stream. Yeah, we've had a very entertaining race. I mean, obviously things didn't go your way, Joel, for that one. I believe more technical issues. A lot of frustration. I got a lot of messages from you, but I only caught up with them afterwards. And
Yes,
yeah,
mate.
PC failure again. I take it.
Yeah, they decided to give me a note. Windows decided to give me a notification on top of the game whilst I was in the game. And so the game crashed, and then it wouldn't alt tab out, so I had to restart my PC. And then whilst I was restarting, apparently someone joined the lobby, so I just decided to rejoin the lobby, but it said it was full.
Yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully you come back and you can have a decent race without any technical issues soon, and we can see what you're actually made of on track, and you get some points on the board for yourself.
Yeah.
I know you're eager to get driving, but we've also got Invalid in chat with us here. Didn't see much of you on the stream. Yeah, just talk us through your kind of experience of the race, Invalid.
Yeah, I was like a bit late to join, so I wasn't able to take part in qualifying. Was placed on P20 back in the grind, the Haas, and yeah, like there was an incident at Corsa VSC, as you guys noticed, and in under VSC there was like a little pile up of drivers that got me involved, and I had the front wing damage, so I had to pit early, and then I was like about 10 seconds behind the last car and trailing my rounds. I actually got the fastest lap in the end, which is nice, but yeah, on the softs against the mediums, that's not that hard to do. So at least I got somebody off the fastest lap.
And yeah, I mean, I know I've raced with you before. You've very very good pace, but obviously you started off in the back foot without the qualifying, and then that means you've no setup, and then you're thrown in the deep end essentially, and then because you're at the back, then there's all the you tend to get caught up in a lot of incidents and carnage and stuff. Having to make your way through that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully you'll come back and we'll see you race again in SLR and see what you're actually made of.
yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, because I definitely think you're like you're definitely one of the top 10 guys. If you're on the track like today, I reckon you definitely could have been top 10.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so too.
yeah. So I'll say we'll definitely get you another seat for the coming races in Volad, and Joel, hopefully you can get your PC sorted out
Yeah.
soon. We might start up a GoFundMe for you. But yeah, I mean, Billy, Tipsy, I just want to say thanks for doing the commentary. A lot of good feedback for Billy.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody enjoys your commentary a lot. So
Team, yes.
yeah, and I personally, whenever I first heard you in commentary, I thought you're pretty good. I think you just needed experience, but already you're showing that with a bit of experience, a bit of confidence, that you're just kind of growing more into the role. So I'm looking forward to hearing more commentary from you in the future.
Yeah. Let's hope. Well, I'm doing tier 2 every Thursday now, so you can hear me every Thursday.
Yeah, so tier 2 commentary, just for the people watching, I jumped into the last minute there just to cover Bants, but the permanent kind of commentary situation for tier 2 will be Bailey and Bants. So Bants will be back next Thursday with the tier 2 race with Bailey. So we're very much looking forward to their debut performance as a commentary team. So join us tomorrow. We've got SLR F2 at 1930 CET. Then we go to Saturday where we have SLR Tier 1 race, Australia. I'm very much looking forward to that. I'll be taking part in that myself, as will Tipsy Bob. And yes, Sunday then we've got 2 SRLs, so we've got an action-packed weekend of racing ahead. I think Assetto Corsa might be in the mix as well. Not sure, but actually I need to check that because I need to get some practice in if that's the case. I think that pretty much wraps it up. If anyone else has anything to say before we end the stream, now is the time. Silence.
Extreme. Oh, we can't do that anymore. That was me and Bance's thing. So.
His lights out and away we go.
Billy, you're gonna have to find something new.
Oh
with
no,
Bants.
I'm not gonna make it.
That's our. Oh, with that being said, extreme.
Okay, well that wraps it up for now. Thanks everybody for watching. Sorry about the technical issues; they sometimes happen, as you know if you follow our streams. But we always manage to make our way through them. And yeah, it's been another entertainment race, but we will have more coming up in the coming days. Thanks everybody for joining us on the stream, and to the guys joining us in the interview box here. That's all from me and Billy. We'll catch you soon. Bye bye.